Hello viewers, it's Kiramager from Screw Reviews, bringing you a new podcast for my segment called the Super Sentai Review. Like always, I like to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly, in case you don't understand me. Also, I'll try to do my best not to breathe too hard during this audio podcast recording as well, or recording audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will pertain to adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will pertain to adult language. Now, if you're over 18, that means you get to watch this audio podcast recording. So anyway, let's get into the latest. Let's get into the latest episode of Kiramager. So basically, this episode starts off once again. We see Joe. Joe is having another daydream, and while he was at school, in his daydream he sees a young King Orion, drawing, with a sketchbook drawing a new attack, drawing an attack that he can use to defend Krista, his home planet. So basically, Orion was figuring out, Joe was dreaming about a young King Orion, drawing an attack that he can use to defend his future kingdom called the corkscrew attack. So basically things were starting to get very interesting when Joe heard somebody was coming into the phone room, and that's when Joe woke up from his daydream by a classmate. So basically Joe was like, he was wondering who was that, why he was having a dream about a young King Orion, and also he was also wondering who was that person was coming in the phone room to. He was also wondering who is that person who was about to come in the phone room until he got woken up by one of his classmates. But anyway, turned out that Jim slept through his last class, and school was over for Jewel. So anyway, we see Jewel's classmate. I think her name is Kara, I believe that's how you know her name. Kara. She's from a previous episode where that knows that Jewel is a Kiramager. So basically, we see Jewel's other friends who doesn't know he's a Kiramager. So basically, the girl Kara from a previous episode that is the only one in Jewel's school that knows that Joe is a Kiramager. So anyway, so basically Carl was like, you've been sleeping in class again, blah blah blah. This gave Joe a hard time. Just messing with Joe and giving him a hard time. So basically, like Joe was like, I'm sorry, we're sleeping in the class because Carl is also sort of like the class rat and shit is also for the classroom. So basically, she's the class rat for Jew's classroom. So anyway, just giving Jew a hard time. You should not be sleeping in class. You should be awake and pay attention and whatnot. Just messing him. So anyway, meanwhile, somewhere else, there's some warehouse somewhere. We see Carantula. Turns out that Carantula didn't so basically, turns out that Carantula did survive the infamous attack and got saved from the water by Gozzle. So basically, Carantula and Gozzle is working on a plan. So basically, when the Emperor attacked Carantula with those energy needles, turns out the Emperor's attack was not fatal, and also saved him to the water as well. So basically, good. So basically, Calantula and Garzo is working together to take down the Emperor somehow. So basically, we see Calantula with a bomb, this idea, so basically Calantula says that this plan for the works, Garzo need to keep it, Garzo needs to. So basically, we see Carl Weathers with a bomb in his hand, saying that this plan for the work, I'll really be destroyed, including Darzo, if this plan doesn't work. So anyway. And Carl Weathers went on his way. So anyway, meanwhile, the other Kiramages were just hanging out. We see the other Kiramages, like the Takamichi and Jewel, who were still at school, were hanging out at Kid headquarters, along with Princess Mavasena and Mayu. So basically, they were just enjoying themselves and hanging out at the command center without Jewel and Takamichi. Turns out that Takamichi was going to a violin concert to go see his high school friend who she was playing a violin concert. So basically, Takamichi went to go to a violin concert to go see an old friend from high school and go watch her play her violin at this violin concert. So anyway, the other Kiramages, we're still kind of the other Kiramages were still worried that that the bad guy still had the illusion stone, and also about how figure out how to take down the Emperor himself. So anyway, the other Kiramages were still figuring out a way how to get the final Grand Stone back from the bad guys, and also figure a way how to get the grants and and also take down the Emperor himself. So anyway, meanwhile back at the bad guys' headquarters, at the Yonahan headquarters, we see Garzo talking to the Emperor, and Garzo say that I'd like to be a part of you. I'd like to join you and become a person become part of you as a personality like Shadow did, like your former assassin Shadow did. So basically, the Emperor is like, so that's what you really want, Garzo? You want to be a part of it, just like Yorodana. So basically, Garzo said yes, Emperor. So basically, the Emperor said, "Oh, I didn't." So basically, that's when the Emperor used his power to fuse Garzo to his combine Garzo with him. So basically, Garzo is not a part of the Emperor. So basically, inside the Emperor's mind, we see Garzo talking to Yorodana, and we see the Emperor sitting in the chair. So basically, the chair inside the Emperor's mind, means that the Emperor is in control of the body. So basically, each personality that joins the Emperor, if they want to change, basically, the Emperor saying that, you're now part of my body. All you got to do is, sit in this chair. That means you're in control. That means you're in control of your own body and your own personality. You're part of my body now, and also part of my mind now. So basically, now you're part of my body and mind. So basically, whoever sits in this chair controls my mind, and we take turns. Me, Yodadana, and me, Yodadana, and I take turns. Take turns controlling my body. So basically, like when Yodadana is in this chair, she's Yodadana. She's in her body, but she can use my power. So basically, you can do the same thing. So basically, God was sat in the chair, and he transformed into Gazo, and he had the Emperor's power. So basically, Gazo said, oh, I have a perfect plan to take down the Kiramager. So anyway, let's take down these Kiramagers. Let's get down to business and take down the Kiramager. So anyway, meanwhile, back at your school, well, the girl Kara was the class rep. Kara, who knows that Jill is a Kiramager, said would stay at the class with Jill and cover Jill's classmates. So anyway, so basically Jill, so basically, Kara asked Jill that he wanted to go to the amusement park with her because she had some amusement park tickets and whatnot at the school. So basically, Jill, as a date, and Kara said this is not a date, just as friends. So basically, seems like Kara does have something. So basically, turns out that Kara doesn't really have a thing for Juro. She just wants to discover how to get Juro's ranger powers for some reason. So basically, this whole biting Juro to a amusement park is just kind of like a way to get Jill, to figure out how Jill's powers work, and try to get Jill's ranger powers somehow. Cause she Carl wants, since Carl knows that Jill is the Kiramager, so basically I figured she wants to figure out how Jill's ranger powers work, and that way she can become a Kiramager somehow. It's pretty stupid. So anyway, the rest of the show, so basically Joe's other classmates was thinking, oh, this is most definitely a date. So basically everything seemed okay until this weird smog started to creep up in the school. And everybody got affected by this weird dark smog that caused everybody to act like foot soldiers all of a sudden. So basically, Jill and Carl and the rest of his class tried to run to the smog, but Carl and Jill's other classmates / friends were all affected by the smoke, and Carl said you need to do you Kiramager, you need to stop this from happening. I can't Carl said that you need to go, you need to flee because you and the other Kiramagers need to stop this from happening, and that's what Carl, was completely altered by the smoke, by this weird, strange smog smoke. So anyway, meanwhile, somewhere else, Rishi on his way to the concert hall to go see his old classmate play her violin, and that's when he spotted Karanza with the bomb. So basically, Takamichi was Takamichi is like he was wondering what the hell is Carranza doing here. So basically, so basically, when Takamichi started Carranza, Takamichi chased after Carranza, and Carranza started to run with the bomb in his hand. So anyway, meanwhile, back at Kid headquarters, Joe made it to Kid headquarters, and the alarm starts to go off everywhere in the city. So the alarm in the headquarters starts to go off everywhere in the city. And everywhere in the city, the smog starts to affect the people and make them behave like fuck, and it starts to affect the people, and it starts to make the people who are affected start to behave like foot soldiers. And Princess Marcella said that, oh, this is the this is how the other Don forces, when this is how the other Don forces start their invasion. They affect the people, they affect the atmosphere, and whoever, and all the people, all the people start to behave like the protesters of the other Don, of the Yamahan Empire. So basically, according to Princess Marcel, that's how the Yamahan Empire start their invasion. They pollute the air, causing the people or beings who live on that planet to act like minus foot soldiers and whatnot. So basically, Princess Marcella was explaining what was going on. So anyway, Mayu found the source of where this strange smoke was coming from. It turns out it was coming from Gazu, who's now fused with the emperor's body, just like Donna is. So basically the Kiramager is like, oh, let's go stop Gaza from affecting everybody in the city. Let's stop him from this worst. Let's go stop the source of. Let's stop Gaza from affecting the whole city, and that's what. But the killers didn't know that Gaza is not part of the emperor's body. So anyway, the killers showed up, and they started to fight Gaza, and not knowing that Gaza is not a part of the emperor's body now, and Gaza was kicking their ass with the powers of the emperor. So basically. That's when they tried to use the Kiramager. That's when the Kiramager started to use the Kiramager arrow and transform into the Go Kiramagers. So anyway, things were not looking good to the Kiramagers, and that's when, so after Gotham kicked around a bit, Gotham was like, was just messing with them, showing off with the Emperor's power, just kicking around and shit. That's when Gotham transformed into the Emperor. The Emperor took control and transform into his body. So the Emperor took control inside the Emperor's mind. The Emperor took control and transformed into his body, and and go big. It turns out that the smoke turned out that the weird Doc Smog, he could finally it turns out that the Emperor can't, reason why we haven't seen much of the Emperor, in film because of the atmosphere. So basically, the atmosphere in the city was good enough for him to stay longer and shit like that. So basically, the Emperor can now fully stay, finally, So basically, that bird should transport into his body and whatnot. So anyway, and that's what Tarantula showed up with Takamichi right behind him on top of the building, and like oh, this is the chance. Oh, Gaza, you bastard! This is the perfect opportunity, and he threw the bomb at the Emperor that did something to the Emperor that is sort of like paralyzing the Emperor. So basically, Carlence's bomb was meant to paralyze the Emperor and gave Gotham the opportunity to destroy the Emperor in his mind. So basically, the plan. So basically, the plan was to take that Gotham, that the bomb was supposed to paralyze the Emperor, and Gotham, and while Gotham was inside the Emperor's mind, he destroyed the Emperor in his own mind and take control of the Emperor's powers. So basically, Gotham and Corinth's plan worked, and Gotham is now in control of the Emperor's body. So Yodama tried to stop Gotham from doing so, but it was too late, and Gotham knocked out Yodama inside the Emperor's mind after Gotham destroyed the Emperor, and took control of the Emperor's body, and now Gotham is taking control of the Emperor's body and powers now. So basically, the shit just hit the fan. So basically, so basically, Takamichi is like, Carranza, what the hell did you do? It's starting like, you really screwed us all. So basically, like, Carranza say, I had no other choice. So basically, I had no other choice to help Gato take down the Emperor, and in the stage, he was fair. I had no choice but to help Gotham take down the Emperor, and cause the Emperor wants me dead. So basically, I had no choice. So anyway, Carl Astor ran away from Takamichi, and chased after him in his ranger force. So anyway. So the other Kiramagers, summoned the Kiramagers, summoned the Kiramagers, and summoned the Kiramager Megazord and the Zabu Megazord to take down the new powerful Gaza, who started controlling the Emperor's body and mind now. But even the Kiramager Megazord and the Zabu, its first Megazord, was not strong enough to take down the new powerful Gaza, who called himself Lord Gaza. So anyway, that's when you summon used the Kiramager to summon the King and Hakubu and form the Grateful Phoenix Megazord. So even it seems like the Grateful Phoenix Megazord was holding on against Lord Gazu, but turns out that Gazu did that special attack that Jewel saw in his daydream about the young King Orion was doing this new attack called the Corkscrew Phoenix attack. So basically got to the attack that Drew saw in his daydream against the Grateful Phoenix Megazord, and then forced Megazord to disassemble and forced Drew out of the cockpit. So basically things started to get worse when Lord Gazu managed to capture King Orion, and he said that I'm not trying to hear got their speeches for us, so this time I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna kill you for a second time this time. So anyway, I'm gonna make sure that you really die the second time. And he just left. He left the city for a portal. And this episode ended with the Kiramagers watching the new powerful Lord Gazo, taking King Orion away through a portal. And this how the episode ended with the other Kiramagers watching Lord Gazu take King Orion away through a portal, and Takamichi ended up casting Tarantula, and this is how the episode ended on this note. So anyway, this shit is crazy. So basically, we started to get to the final stretch here. So basically, we got like, so basically, we started to get to the final stretch of the series. So basically, shit is starting to get real right here. So anyway, we got to go out this episode. Was it good? Was it great? Was it just okay? Please let me know what the comments below this podcast. So anyway, like always, it's Sentai Michael from Screw You. Sign off. 1.